Page 4, A Super-Special Sorta Song. Try saying that after a few glasses of wine. I have a few things I'd like to point out. If you can play well enough to play the music in this book, I shouldn't have to explain the simple things like the rhythms and the notes and all that. If you're confused about rhythms and notes, then I would encourage you to go back and do level 1 again, because that's where they cover that stuff. You ought to have all that under your fingers by now. I'm just going to talk about a few of the tricky stuff about playing the piece and technique and whatnot. Starting with the right hand. We have staccato at the beginning. On the quarter notes, just a wrist staccato. And then the eighth notes are not staccato. Watch the E's. They're just eighth notes. Don't hold those E's down. And then staccato. So you get the second line, second measure. See, this first part is just introduction. Now we get to the song. Not a lot going on there, just the chords. Third line. Again, don't hold the F's down. On page 5, you have first and second endings in the third line. Hopefully you know how that works by now. If you don't, please go back to book 1 and go through that again. And then level 2 also. At the bottom of page 5, in the middle of the line, they have the note that you can repeat back from there and go play the whole piece again. So if you want to drive everybody nuts, you can just keep playing the piece over and over and over. Well, keep in mind the whole piece, the piece starts on line 2 at the double bars. Before that's introduction, and you'll notice that introduction is pretty much the same as these two measures here on page 5 at the bottom. Similar. So when you go back to do the piece again, go back to the double bars. Don't go back to the beginning, just the double bars. So go back to the second measure of the second line on page 4 if you're going to repeat. And then you can just keep playing it over and over and over until people want to bash you or something to get you to stop. Shut up already. Otherwise, you play the last two measures and you're done. I don't know how much of a play with me you need on these. I'm going to go ahead and do it just so you can if you'd like. I'll give you an idea. I don't want to perform it for you. Hopefully by now you can get an idea what it sounds like. I'm going to just play it slowly so you can hear the articulation and the rhythm and all that, and the notes. Bring out the melody. It's the top note in the right hand. So when you're playing at the beginning, if you can bring out, put a little more weight on the upper notes, that's better. Now there's a note at the bottom of the page of page 4 that we can do these eighth notes uneven. Now that we can swing the eighth notes sort of more like a swing style. It's here. And that's how I'm going to do it. And you feel this unevenness. They could put it in, except there's no real notation for it. You have to feel this. It's not a dotted rhythm. It's not a triplet. It's somewhere in between. And all of your shorts may not be the same short note. Some will be a little longer than others because you're feeling it. You got to go with the flow, dude. Yeah. Now, they give you words. You can sing it if you want. They have an optional verse, blah, blah, blah. You can read all about that. On page 5, I'm going to do both of those endings. If you want to sing all those words, you go right ahead. I ain't singing nothing, but you can. Dynamic wise, starting out soft. Second line, when it comes in, the melody is medium loud. You keep the left hand soft because we want to hear the melody. Now on the first line in the left hand, there's a note in the second measure for left hand staccato. It's just telling you play the left hand staccato throughout, except if it has slurs under it or phrase markings under it, then you had connected. Otherwise, play it staccato. So when I get to the second line, second measure, the right hand is not staccato. The left hand is. Can you do staccato in one hand, legato in the other? That's a challenge for some, including me, but it's how it could be fun. Try it out. As far as tempo goes, you'll have to pick your tempo. It says moderate and relaxed. So we're not going to speed through it. Just kind of a how relaxed do you feel? I mean, that's going to change from day to day or time of day to different time of day. And it's up to you. It's all done by feel. Maybe some other time you're feeling it more like this. That's lazy. I like lazy. Other times, if you've had, it may be that. I'm relaxed, really. I'm going to count myself in with 4 beats. If you want to play along, you go right ahead. I'm going to go slow. Right hand's here, left hand. 1, 2, ready, and go. And